friends. We didn't hang out.
And it's delusional because I'm like, bro, it's like we worked at Coffee Bean when we were 16. Like, I'm sorry, I'm 31 now. I might have lost your number.
That was huge. When I lost the weight, it was a game changer, but unfortunately I was the same head in a new body. And pretty quickly I got to my goal weight and then became viciously addicted to drugs and alcohol, which took over the next 4 years of my life.
The fallout from Drake Bell's shocking documentary exposing Dan Schneider and his time at Nickelodeon just keeps getting worse. Now, Drake's former co-star Josh Peck is getting backlash from people online for a TikTok he posted, and people think he was throwing shade at Drake. People have been wondering why Josh would do such a thing to his on-screen best friend, but the truth is, despite being one of the most iconic duos on TV, Drake Bell and Josh Peck have never really been friends. And those are not my words, Josh himself admitted it.
You clearly do not like this guy.
I mean, I guess I could tell the story of my wedding. So I get married to my wife, and so we have like this small wedding, and the dirty little secret, I guess, was like, I knew that Drake and I didn't stay in touch for the 10 years since we had made the show, but no one needed to know that. Like, I was happy to just die with that secret that, like, we made this thing that people really love, but maybe we weren't that close. So I didn't invite him to my wedding because I hadn't really talked to him in many, many years.
So by now we are all aware to some extent of the shocking and horrific things that Drake had to undergo during his time on Nickelodeon. Loves, Drake had one of the most traumatizing encounters at the hands of Brian Peck, who, for the record, is not related in any way to Josh Peck. Brian was a prominent figure during his time at Nickelodeon. He was an acting and dialogue coach, but also regularly appeared on screen. Brian Peck, just like Dan Schneider, was also close with the actors on set, particularly Drake Bell, and some would even say a little too close. Now, over time, Drake's dad started noticing that Brian Peck was slowly getting too close to Drake, and it made him feel uncomfortable. He was always around Drake, sometimes even touching him oddly. It seemed like Brian Peck noticed this and started telling Drake all sorts of lies and negative things about his dad. This led to Drake having to fire his dad as his manager, and slowly over time, Brian managed to destroy Drake's relationship with his dad completely. Brian Peck managed to isolate Drake from his parents and people who could look out for him, and that's when everything went down. Fast forward to the 19th of August 2003. Brian Peck was arrested, and according to the police, the things he did were horrific. Loves, we can't even talk about them because YouTube will take down this video immediately. That's how horrific they are. Anyways, since Drake was not yet of age when Brian got arrested, by law, his name was not mentioned in the court documents, and he was just put in as a John Doe. So for years, he suffered in silence, and no one really knew what Drake went through at the hands of Brian Peck. Well, that was until the Quiet on Set documentary aired. Drake received a ton of support from people all over the internet. However, one person who everyone was expecting to be the first to show support for Drake went silent. That was until this video of Josh Peck started going viral, and it wasn't well received by the internet.
I haven't talked to you since 2023? Take that as a sign that you don't exist to me anymore. Damn, you got sprayed with the rain. Bye. See you in that burp.
Y'all, just look at these people's reactions after they saw Josh's video. Josh is looking for attention. He was best friends with David Dobrik. Are we really surprised? Can't stand Josh Peck. I've only seen him in the Red Dawn remake, and from there out, I won't watch anything that he might be in. Bro, they are not friends. We all know this.
The tides are starting to turn against Josh Peck because it seems he is not supporting Drake Bell in his recent reveal and his public story now, what happened to him growing up as a child actor. And it seems that Josh Peck instead puts out a video, a TikTok, basically saying that if we're no longer friends, we're no longer talking about it, it's a really weird timing for this video to come out.
So Drake and Josh have had somewhat of a complicated relationship ever since they first met. The two first met on the set of The Amanda Show. Drake was a regular and a fan favorite ever since season 1, but Josh came about in the second season of the show. At first, Drake was the only guy who appeared regularly on The Amanda Show, so when Josh came along in season 2, they didn't hit it off immediately. On The Amanda Show, Drake was more of a popular kid who was always good with the girls and confident, and Josh was more like the stereotype plus-size guy whose weight was always the butt of the joke. Now, after The Amanda Show ended, Dan Schneider had the idea of creating another hit Nickelodeon show, and Drake and Josh seemed like the perfect duo to create a show around. Their characters were so different, but they got along so great on camera. However, according to Josh, off camera, the two barely even talked. Basically, Drake and Josh's on-screen characters were just like their real-life ones. Drake was the cool, popular kid who had the attention of everyone, and Josh was almost like his sidekick. Drake. While Drake was off at parties, meeting people, and generally enjoying his fame, Josh often just went home. At home, Josh's life wasn't all that great. He lived with his mom, and he didn't really know his dad. In fact, according to some reports, he never even met his dad. Loves, Josh and Drake's lives were so polar opposites during their time on the show, yet somehow when the camera started rolling, you would never know that they didn't get along. This resulted in the show being one of the biggest ever on Nickelodeon. During its time on air, it won a bunch of Kids' Choice Awards. However, if you take a closer look at all the nominations and awards the show won, you will quickly notice that something stands out. Despite being the show all about Drake and Josh, when it came to fame and the award side of things, only Drake's name seemed to always stand out. I mean, is it really a surprise? On the show, he was cool and charismatic, while Josh was portrayed as clumsy, plump, awkward kid. This seemed to be an issue for Josh because ever since he joined Nickelodeon, all the roles he seemed to get were of the plus-size sidekick to the cool, attractive main character. Josh even started fearing that that's how he would be viewed for the rest of his career. So he decided to do something about the thing that was getting him stereotyped time and time again. Around the 4th season of Drake and Josh, fans started noticing a significant change in Josh's appearance. He had lost a lot of weight and he was looking fit, and this even made Nickelodeon change how he was portrayed on the show. He stopped being the awkward chubby kid and started competing with Drake in terms of charisma and charm. But Josh Peck's weight loss came at a hefty price. You see, the thing is, Josh had various insecurities about his weight. Josh was always stereotyped because of it, and in his mind, he had an image of what he considered to be normal, and when he was plus size, he didn't consider himself normal. After he lost the weight, Josh famously said this about himself: "I made a conscious effort to lose weight because I knew I could be happier as well as being healthier. I started by going on a diet a year and a half ago, and I got a personal trainer, but I definitely have a healthier lifestyle now. Also, I feel that because I do so much television, I'm a better role model. I don't really understand why I should be a role model, but I know that kids do look up to me, so it's my responsibility to motivate people and be inspiring. I hope I can do that for kids. It doesn't really matter what you look like though." Y'all, Josh's idea of happiness at the time was being like other kids that he saw around him. And when he lost weight, he saw the opportunity to be like the other kids around him. The thing Josh always wanted to do was fit in, and in his quest of fitting in, Josh ended up going down a dark path. In the pursuit of seeking to be his best version of normal, Josh Peck ended up getting addicted and started struggling with substance use. Loves, in his book, Josh talked about how when he turned 18 and achieved his ideal weight, he began using more and more harmful substances because that's what people he considered normal were doing around him. Now, around this time, Drake and Josh was coming to an end, and Drake Bell and Josh Peck had drifted even further apart. Josh was no longer interested in doing Nickelodeon stuff, and he wanted to pursue more acting opportunities as an adult, whereas Drake stuck around with Nickelodeon for a bit, having guest appearances on various shows like Victorious. Josh, on the other hand, with his new body, just buried himself in work and did his best to put his child acting days behind him. He did all sorts of shows. He started doing Vine, and he blew up there. He met David Dobrik, Logan and Jake Paul. That's even where he met the now infamous Vlog Squad, which led him to becoming a YouTuber, and he blew up there as well. Drake, on the other hand, didn't have as much success as Josh. Despite having released multiple songs, Drake was struggling to get his music career off the ground in the US, which was weird because he was a megastar in Mexico. Drake was pulling Taylor Swift level crowds whenever he was performing in Mexico, and his songs were going viral over there. Well, that was when his legal troubles began. In 2014, Drake Bell filed for bankruptcy. Drake was claiming that he was over $2 million in debt and that he owed the IRS over $46,000. On top of that, Drake was also not the easiest person to get along with, often getting into drama with other celebrities on Twitter. He infamously sent out a now deleted tweet calling Justin Bieber talentless. But it didn't stop there. Drake got arrested the following year for a DUI, and this wasn't even the first time that this happened. Drake ended up serving a day in jail and 4 years probation. At this point, it was clear to see that compared to Josh, Drake's life wasn't going all that smoothly. He was struggling to get acting gigs, and people weren't receiving his music all that well. Then came Josh's wedding in 2017, which really showed the extent of the strained relationship between the two. News came out that Josh had gotten married, and this seemed to really hurt Drake, who didn't even know that the wedding was taking place. He took to Twitter to air out his frustrations in a series of tweets saying stuff like, "When you're not invited to the wedding, the message is clear. True colors have come out today, message is loud and clear, ties are officially cut. I'll miss you, brother."
You know what? Based on what I know now, I'm really glad that we all gave Josh Peck so much for not inviting Drake Bell to the wedding. Because allegedly he invited Dan Schneider Ew.
Now, of course, Drake's tweet got a lot of attention, and naturally people asked Josh why Drake wasn't invited. And Josh simply said that since Drake and Josh ended, they barely talked. But Drake was of a contrary opinion. According to Drake, they talked regularly. Drake even did an interview with ET saying, "I'd been talking to him and he's telling me about the engagement, and then I saw on social media the wedding and I didn't hear about it." So it was just one of those things where it was just like, you didn't even tell me? I had to find out on social media? And then you're like, you know what, fine. And then I'm like, wait, I probably shouldn't have done that. Now, following Drake's revelation, Josh got a lot of backlash. So the two met up privately and even did a couple of YouTube videos together. That was until the VMAs that year, where according to Josh, he made Drake apologize to his wife for all the wedding drama, or else something else bad was going to happen to him.
Wife, right, who's like getting torn down on the internet, and I'm like, she's private and she just got married, can't you just enjoy this? And I remember that I was at the Video Music Awards, and I see him there and he sees me, and I go up to him like, and this might be the most Sopranos thing I've ever done, and I look at him and I go apologize to my wife right now. And he goes, okay. And he like made a beeline for my wife, and I see him do like this whole 5-minute performance of an apology. And it was like, I was like, go apologize to my wife or something bad's gonna happen. And I was like, good for me.
However, Drake was in shock to hear this because according to him, that didn't happen. In fact, Josh was vlogging the whole time, and according to the video, the two seemed to be getting along. Now, at this point, one thing is clear. Josh seems to be telling stories about Drake that didn't happen, and people were left puzzled.
Josh Peck confronts Drake Bell at VMAs. And then he's like, I had my big soprano moment. Like, oh, big tough guy.
I didn't even catch that. And when I think I saw it, I don't know how I was tagged in it. And I'm like, and I watched it, and I didn't even catch the Sopranos part until I read it in actual
No, the
like
whole
something.
clip was like that he said like, apologize to my wife, like, or something bad.
Or bad things will happen or something.
And I was like, what bad things could have happened?
I know, right?
After this, things died down and the two went about their various activities. Drake was caught up in more legal trouble after he got exposed by his ex on TikTok for being toxic and mistreating her in their relationship. And Drake's ex even accused him of having inappropriate conversations with a young person. In 2021, Drake got arrested again and his troubles just seemed to get worse. After that, in 2022, there was talk of Josh wanting to do a Drake and Josh reboot, but with a twist. In Josh's reboot, Josh would be the successful real estate mogul and Drake would be a failed musician. Josh even wanted the name of the show to be Josh and Drake. Apparently, Josh wanted some stereotypes about Mexicans to be included in the first episode of the show, but Drake wasn't on board. Drake had for years been receiving a lot of support from Mexicans, and he wasn't going to disrespect them just to let Josh have his way. This led to the two having yet another fallout, which has led us to the video that Josh recently posted. Now, after Josh's video went viral, Drake did come out to say that Josh reached out to him privately and that the video wasn't intended as shade at Drake. But people aren't convinced, because for years, Josh has seemed to have a grudge against Drake.
Hey, what's up, guys? I just want to clear something up. I've noticed a lot of comments on some of Josh's TikToks and some of his posts, and I just want to let you guys know that this is really, processing this and going through this is a really emotional time, and a lot of it's very, very difficult. So not everything is put out to the public, but I just want you guys to know that he has reached out to me, and it's been very sensitive, but he has reached out to talk with me and help me work through this, and has been really, really great. So I just wanted to let you guys know that and to take it a little easy on him.
Josh has claimed multiple times that after Drake and Josh, they stopped talking, but the two have been spotted together multiple times over the years. Seems like Josh doesn't want people to know he is friends with Drake, but this is just speculation.
No,
Yes.
and we've had our ups and downs, but at the end of the day, I mean, I think we do, I'm gonna cry again. I think we do have a really, special relationship, and I would always be there for him, and I know that that he would be the same. And I know that there's been some catty remarks and things that have been said by him and, you know, by me, but you know, I don't want the public jumping on him because you know, he has, in my times of struggle and times of pain, he has been somebody there that has
Loves, what do y'all think about Drake and Josh's friendship? Is it genuine? Was the video directed at Drake and Josh just said those things to avoid getting canceled? Let me know your opinions in the comments down below, and don't forget to check out my other videos to ensure you are up to date with all the latest tea. Till next time, bye love!